Welcome to United Jews channel.
What is Biden proposing that you guys are against? It's very moderate. What is so
Yes. But Biden is thankfully yes, but we haven't seen him yet. But I have my doubts who will really run this country. Would it be Biden or would it be his vice president, who
It will
is
be
very
his vice
different
president.
What is actually Biden proposing, in your opinion, at all? Anything? What is he
proposing? I think he's proposing to expand the Affordable Health Care Act as much as he can.
Exactly. So
he's another Obama.
That's the only thing that he's truly proposing. Everything else.
No, he's proposing a Green New Deal, and he's proposing to keep the things Trump has done with China generally the same with the trade war stuff.
So what about Green New Deal?
Well, he's proposing that we should rejoin the Paris Accord, which we should, and to support green companies to try to hit the goals for reducing carbon as much as we can. And he's talked about small nuclear, which a lot of liberals are against, which is a really probably good idea. And
probably is.
So basically,
the Green New Deal will not.
Let me understand. So how do you see this solution? The problem, I understand. The problem that we see is a climate change. So climate changes. So the solution is to go back in time and basically stop all the cars, stop all the progress that brought us here, that actually brought minorities to the place that they are. They actually, you're talking about historically, but historically, if you look at historical progress, minorities are actually better off than they've been 100 years ago. Poor people is even better off. Our society made a progress to where poor people are actually better than they've been, and now you want to stop the progress. You want to stop the light. You want to turn the lights off in the houses. You want to stop the oil exploration, and now everything will be sun dependent, which is very unreliable to me. And even if you look at the paperwork of Paris Accord, they don't even promise everything. If every country right now stops and does everything that they promise through Paris Accord, even Paris Accord says that the climate will not stop changing. They do not promise at all even 1 degree reduction. It still will go on and will warm up.
So you think it doesn't matter what humans do, that we're bound to have a climate catastrophe in the next 10 years, or that we get to just cut down all the trees in wild areas and put as much carbon in the air, and it makes no difference to the future of getting past that 2 Celsius mark?
No, I didn't say that we shouldn't do anything. I just don't like solution that proposed by climate cycles. Like Gore, he promised that San Francisco would be underwater right now. And I'm talking to you from San Francisco. You're talking, I understand, from Santa Cruz. That was supposed to be underwater. So the problem, this sky is falling. We have to do something, and this something is making reach this politician who writes the books and says that, oh, I have this solution. All we have to do is not use oil and everything will be fine. No, it won't be fine.
And how will that help the education and everything
I'm already
else?
biking to work. I'm already vegan, personally. And I made this personal choice. I am not imposing it on you. I'm not imposing it on society. And if you impose this on society, it will not fix the problems that we have. We came here with a progress. Everything was done through progress, and stopping progress that brought us here will not fix our problem. It has to come from progress.
I don't think anyone's talking about stopping progress. And I defer to the smartest people on the planet that have spent their careers studying this. You know, there's a problem, I believe, and I believe 97%, 98% of scientists agree that study the climate, that if we get past 1.5 degrees Celsius change, we're going to have some really messed up changes, and we're going to lose a huge percent of the human population. I think that's going to happen anyways. It's just, if Trump was president, it'd probably be accelerated and we wouldn't have as humanistic of responses when those climate catastrophes do happen. And you know, you know, I've tried to sleuth through the information. You know, there's a podcast called Climate One, and we have a global problem. And I mean, part of the problem is, even as Americans, I mean, yes, American has a huge percentage of the carbon footprint, but 300 million people, we have 8 billion people on the planet. So even if we did all the good stuff, all these developing countries rise up, they're going to be using all of the pollution. So the concept is to leapfrog. I mean, Elon Musk talks about, if you have 100 square miles of solar, I mean, there's a very, very multi-pronged approach that is quite complicated to actually address some of these things. And it's going to include global efforts to create sustainable electricity and disease control and stuff for the poorest people, that 1/3 of which are living in poverty right now. And, you know, clean water, these things, you have to look at it as a system. And we can't just pretend that there's no problem. Houston doesn't have a problem, because Houston has a major problem. We're going to have a global meltdown of our systems. The currents aren't even good. Look, it's not even raining in Santa Cruz. We're 2 months late. I mean, it's like so obvious that there's a huge problem. And
no, it's not so obvious based on 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 20-year observation. It's not that obvious. You have to look at.
This is the third. We've had the 4 hottest years on the record since we started recording in the last 4 years.
You have to look at the millions of years.
Warmer. There's no doubt about that. But I personally think that humans have little to do with it. Some, but very little.
You think that? Are you an expert? Have you looked at what the experts say? Because 97% of them are saying the same thing.
97% of scientists also paid by government to say those things.
Exactly.
In order to scientists to get funding from government, they have to study this climate from one point of view, and also proving that the problem exists. The problem exists. Let's agree that problem exists. Let's get warming. It doesn't mean that 97% of scientists agree that the solution that pushed by a left will solve this problem. The last 100 years, the official results of increase of temperature in California is 3 degrees Celsius. Yet this 3 degrees Celsius you blame on the hottest years, somebody blames on the hottest fires, somebody else blames on rising ocean. You know, that statistically 3 degrees increase, and your solution will not decrease that temperature.
Yes,
even,
it will.
Even up to 1%. No, it won't.
The models have been done.
No.
They have been done.
If you look at
the models of carbon reduction, they're very specific. You have to stay within a certain amount of tons or whatever parts per million. Otherwise, there's going to be a slide, and we will get it'll build on itself like a snowball, and it will get worse and worse. I'm sorry, but that's science. I mean,
science. Okay, a lot of scientists were wrong. You know, scientists believe the world, the Earth was flat for a long time. You know, things, and they all agreed to that. So I don't think we know enough to to be sure. It's number one. Number two, look at the millions of years of the changes. I mean, you only see what's happened in your lifetime, but our lifetime is nothing, absolutely nothing in the climate, in the earth, age. So I don't want to argue about this. I just don't think Green New Deal will solve the problem you're trying to solve. But it will
It's a good
create
step in
lots
the
of,
right direction.
well, it will create lots of jobs. It will make a really bad time for people who were making money doing other things for a long, long time. Yes. So there will be a redistribution of wealth because new companies will become rich and old companies will become poor because there will be a difference in economics.
Not going to change that much. I think you're being dramatic about it. I mean, he's not going to stop fracking. Oil's going to basically proceed as it is.
Well, there will be more jobs for sure. So people will be working, whether it's going to help or not, but people will be working, making money. So that's the only thing that I see good about it, because somebody will be working and making money.
I mean, really honestly though, are you listening to Trump regarding climate change? Like, have you looked at other like world scientists that, there are scientists that are not biased by the grants that they're getting. I mean, that to me, that's like a wall. Like,
no,
I don't believe science is a wall.
There are almost no scientists who don't depend on grants. There are almost no scientists because the scientists do depend on grants.
Why would they be biased to want to say that climate change is human driven?
Because there is a topic, the government chooses a topic and they say, everybody who wants to prove that direction, please join and we'll give you money.
Yeah, they're creating a narrative here.
Yeah.
I know scientists who studies butterfly, and in order to get a grant, he connected his butterfly study to climate change. That's the only reason he connected this study of butterflies to get a grant. He wasn't interested in climate change, yet he had to.
And here's another thing. Another thing, and I know a scientist who, in order to receive the grant right now, has to employ URM community because underrepresented minority community in order to receive the grant. Okay, yeah. So things are, tell me who's imposing this on people? Government does. So these things are happening and scientists have to comply. There's nothing.
Look at all the governments in Western Europe. They're not, I mean, look at all the governments in Asia. Look at the smartest countries. The research is I mean, yeah, I think if you actually looked at it objectively and did a survey of scientists around the world, that you would find that they say the same thing. But